Namaste. Welcome to Hindu Vishwas. Today we have a very special guest to talk to us, and he is none other than Sri Milind Parante. He is the International General Secretary for Vishwa Hindu Parishad. So, hearty welcome to Hindu Vishwas. And also,
my greetings to all your audience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and welcome to Kerala too. Sir, from 2014 to this time, do you think that the Hindu community in India has transformed positively?
I think really we have entered an era where the favorable atmosphere for the Hindu society has increased, not only in Bharat, but outside Bharat also. The respect, the positioning, in every which way, Hindu community has, taken many strides in front.
Okay. So that's a really positive sign.
Oh, definitely.
We have been appreciated by world over. Our passport is increasing the value. All that is very important, isn't it?
Definitely.
Okay.
In the field of industry, in the field of science and technology, many fields, even in the leagues of nations, so to speak, everywhere we are positioning better and better right now as compared to years before.
Okay. Sir, we need to speak to some of the very important and also about the basic issue that is floating today in the country. So one of that is a matter that is mentioned recently by Prime Minister Mr. Modi regarding the Uniform Civil Code. So the fun part is that those people who were acted like exponents of Uniform Civil Code in the yesterday's, especially the leftist party, and its intellectual man, E.M.S. Namboodiripadu, is now turning the plate upside down. So now they are telling that Uniform Civil Code is not acceptable and it is not needed right now in the country. What is your view on this fact?
See, Vishwa Hindu Parishad thinks that it is very necessary to bring Uniform Civil Code. Many of our laws, most of our laws are common for all the citizens, like laws concerning crimes or criminal procedures, property, contract, so on and so forth. They are same for every section of the society. Only thing that is different is the family or the personal laws. And we must ask why it should be different. Why it cannot be same? And if you look the world over, most of the countries, so-called progressive countries, Western countries, they have a uniform civil code. If you look at our constitution, the Article 44 really, asks various governments, maybe it center or state, that they should make a genuine effort in bringing uniform civil code. So the constitution is asking them to do it. And secondly, Article 51A, that also exhorts all the citizens individually that it is their fundamental duty to increase the feeling of brotherhood, or harmony in the society. And to do that, they must rise above their religious, diversities. So these are very positive things the Constitution has said. Even when Constitution was being framed, the Constituent Assembly, there were discussions, and none other than Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar ji, Dr. K.M. Munshi ji, all of them have been very strong proponents of Uniform Civil Code. Now some people are thinking that this is an anti-Muslim step and it is not really for the benefit of the whole society. But it is not really like that. What I am saying that in 1937, for the first time, the Muslim personal law was formulated. So before 1937 in Bharat, for everybody it was the same law. So this is not something that is going on for ages or something like that. Common law is going on for ages. So this is an aberration, what happened in 1937. So what we are proposing is going back to that system. Now many people are worried that it will affect this, that, citizenship and other things. I think that is just giving false narratives to confuse the issue. The Uniform Civil Code deals with only what happens after marriage. It doesn't even deal with marriage. It deals with what happens after marriage. So after marriage, what will be the law of succession? What will be the law of guardianship? What will happen as far as divorce is concerned and things like that. So it deals with very specific personal issues, family laws, and nothing else at all, because everything else is covered by other laws. So no need to drag those issues into Uniform Civil Code. It doesn't concern your religiosity also, what practices you follow. It doesn't interfere with any of that. So this is only false propaganda to confuse the issue. And if you look at these things, then a particular community like Muslims, what their personal laws are not really proper for what we think in terms of women's dignity, honor or whatever. You know, their laws are so archaic. They are hundreds of years old. They are not with the modern times. So even if you think about child rights, if you think about human rights, there the male and the female have different rights there. So there is no equality. So to correct those things also, it is very necessary that UCC should be formed. Of course, there are certain sections in our society which may have certain reservations, like tribal communities are there. So whatever the constitution guarantees protection about, those things should be respected. And that is why the Law Commission should sit with different stakeholders in the society, listen to their views, and protect their constitutional guarantees. And every community has very good traditions, many of them. So all those good traditions should be accommodated while formulating UCC. That way I think we will be able to address most of the issues as well as the apprehensions that some people are feeling. But Vishwa University supports formulation of the Uniform Civil Code.
VHP all-heartedly support, irrespective of...
With all these stipulations that I have said right now.
Though it might affect the Hindu Inheritance Act and all that, how you are going to deal with that?
See, one will have to talk with all the stakeholders. It is not against anybody. Everybody will have to adjust to come on a common platform. As citizens, it is very necessary. See, I am not seeing any Muslims insisting on having Muslim criminal law. Why are they insisting only on family law? If they are so hell-bent on Muslim tradition, then if you steal, your hands should be cut. If you do this, you should be stoned. All those things should be brought. But very cleverly, they are only talking about one part.
Yes. So based on the matter you already referred, I know that polygamy is a factor, divorce is another factor, and succession is another factor. Guardianship, and even the sharp equality between women and man is being discussed in the country. For all the parties who discuss this matter, equality between man and woman, but there is no equality as far as the inheritance is concerned. Is that not right?
See, that is why this issue need to be discussed. I am not expressing any opinion, but there are many such issues that need to be discussed and
Okay.
with all the stakeholders
Okay.
and then come to a conclusion.
For 1985, there was a special case, like you remember that there was a case of Shah Banu in 1985. The Supreme Court, as you said, has taken Article 45 as an important one, and Supreme Court referred to that and said that she should be given, she should be retried. But the Parliament under Mr. Rajiv Gandhi has sabotaged that particular verdict. So,
See, actually, that case, as you have mentioned, there are some other cases. There are 4-5 cases in the Supreme
yes,
Court.
yes,
There is a case of Sarla Mudgal also.
correct.
So there are 4-5 cases where the Supreme Court has insisted that it is necessary to resolve this dilemma. And that is why Uniform Civil Code is the way
Yes.
forward. So even if you take Constitution, you take Constitutional Assembly debates, you take Supreme Court, all these things, all the such important institutions,
Okay.
they are asking for forming a Uniform Civil Code.
Okay. So everyone, according to your observation, everyone should support uniform
Oh,
civil.
definitely.
So another important factor is the conversion happening in India before independence and after independence. It has been said that or heard that the frequency of conversion is not come down even now. So what is the role of Vishwa Hindu Parishad? Because so many people are converted from Hindus to other castes, especially Christians and Muslims. So how Vishwa Hindu Parishad is going to defend this problem?
See, this is we say that religious conversion is a very high type of violence because it uproots a person from his or her culture, background totally.
Okay.
And your loyalties, your value system, your way of life, your Jivana Drishti, so to speak, everything changes. And many places where Hindu population is reduced, it has, given rise to demands of secession, from the country.
Okay.
So that is also an internal security matter
Correct.
or the existential matter for the Hindu of the country.
Yeah.
So we feel that it is a national problem and Christian missionaries as well as certain sections of the Muslims through efforts of love jihad, they are doing the same thing. They are doing religious convergence only. So Vishwa Hindu Parishad wants a central law banning religious conversion,
Okay.
addressing all these factors, and because it is a national problem. And till then, we want every state to, bring this law. Kerala has no such law. And here, the population of Hindus is dwindling continuously. And that is why, for the protection of the Dharma, Hindu people, it is a very, very necessary law that should be brought. Vishwa Hindu Parishad is making an effort. After independence, with tremendous amount of money that is coming for the church system and Protestant, Catholic, or the third wave, so to speak, Pentecostals,
Yes.
Seventh Adventists, and many, many churches are there. And there are many institutions of Muslims and Christians that they are receiving funds, huge funds from abroad for this. And even Supreme Court has mentioned that this is a very serious matter, even it might come in connection with internal security also. And that is why central government has taken some steps. And thousands of such organizations, the FCRA, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation
Yes.
Act, that thing that has been, stopped. And they have been stopped in operating in this manner now.
Yes.
So these steps have been taken. So it is a serious matter.
So VHP is going to take any awareness camp on this particular matter?
See, for Love Jihad itself, I would say the youth organization of Vishwa Hindu Parishad Bajrang Dal is the biggest organization that is bringing back such girls. We are trying to get them married again, so that they can have a respectful life again. And if some of them are not getting married, we are trying to teach them some skill so that they can live an independent and respected life. Secondly, our two Mahila wings, that is one is Durga Vahini, second is Matru Shakti. We are conducting small meetings, symposiums, targeting the women all over the country. So there are girls or middle-aged women or older women in the colleges, in the coaching classes, in the satsang, in the colonies. And we are going there and doing this awareness, campaign. So it has been going on since February, this February. And over 1,000 such programs have already been conducted.
You mean to say it's across the country?
Yeah, definitely. And this is increasing now because all our units will be paying attention to this.
Okay. So we can expect some very positive signs from
Oh, definitely.
Sir, one question, connected question from to that matter, because we have a very considerable changing pattern of food and dress codes in the country, especially in Kerala. So it is transforming into a kind of
Can you be more specific?
Arabic culture type of foods and Arabic culture of dressing and all that. So what could be the reason, and can Bajrang Dal do something to make people, even the Hindu communities are following this particular pattern?
See, unfortunately, what has happened is that since many decades, or at least since the formation of Kerala itself, I think Hindu thinking people have not come into power here ever. So the policymakers were such people who didn't have Hindu hit in their heart. Because the policymakers were not thinking in that way, that is why it has affected how life is looked at or how life is lived here. And because the Hindu society has been far away from the power centers, they really had no say-so in the policy making. So that has affected education, that has affected many things here, which affects our life and our way of living in every sense. The education department, I think, has been with the Muslims in Kerala, be it Congress or Communist government, whichever government has come. So many times it has been in their hands. So that has influenced the syllabus, it has influenced the value system. They have tried to do that. Thirdly, the economy, because Kerala really didn't have its own economy. It is mainly NRI money that is coming from abroad. And I think the majority of the money that is in Kerala is coming from the Middle East or foreign countries. That has also affected the economic system here. And all these factors together, and with the dwindling population of the Hindus and not being in power and not having the financial resources, has put them at a disadvantage. So this has affected in many ways the life here. But I am very sure that the Hindutva forces in Kerala have really done great job in preserving Hindu culture here. Because despite such blatant, aggression, where violence is also used here, along with all these factors, the Hindus have protected their own. So that is commendable. But whatever pattern changes you are seeing, I think Hindu society will have to be more steadfast in their values to protect itself from these aggressions. That is the only answer. And how we can position Hindus again in a powerful position.
That is a very important.
So that is something that we have to address. And the whole country, Hindus are with the Kerala Hindus, definitely.